ụmụnne m niile nọ n'ụwa niile ekenekwa m unu efifie ọma ụtụtụ ọma aje ọnya ojiba omeakwụ ọwụasụ nze na onye erikwa ya were I bring greetings to you this afternoon from Enuani Cultural Forum. My name is Onwodenim Ngozi Echukwuka Fortune, and I am your anchor. Today we are going to be looking at the Igbo-Jewish connection. Yes, I know a lot of people have dismissed this topic, that it is not even worthy of being discussed. But no, I decided to bring it to the fore because I recently completed a documentary which came from a research that I conducted to see if Igbos are truly related to the Jews. I posted this documentary on my YouTube channel. I also shared the same on our TikTok and Facebook handles. And it generated a lot of discussion, mixed reactions, just like I speculated in the video. If you are just joining us, I'm welcoming you to today's discussion. We're looking at, are Igbos truly the lost tribe of Israel? The Israelite tribes are 12 in number. There are 12 Israelite tribes. And when we talk about Israel, a lot of people usually think Israel as a country. No. The Israel that is a country was created around 1945 by the Rothschild family. It's just a country bearing that name, Israel. The real Israelites is beyond a country or a nation. It is a people of 12 tribes, the sons of Jacob. Jacob, son of Isaac, as recorded in the Bible. Those are the Israelites that we are looking at, not the Israel as a country. No. The Israel you have as a country was founded around 1945. So that's a new country. And that's not the Israel we are looking at. We are looking at, when we mention Israel, we are looking at the children of Jacob. So, are we really connected in any way to these children of Jacob? Are we really, as Igbo people, connected to them? Are Igbos related to Israelites? Please, I will have to plead with you, my dear viewer, to give me just 1 minute so that I can share this video to our Facebook page and other social media channels so that people can come and join us. I'm also encouraging you to please share the video to your own audience so that your own audience can also join us. Let's have a heart-to-heart discussion as Ndi Igbo. I'm trying to share now to my Facebook, and I'm encouraging you to do same. Share to your own channel. Let people join us for this very serious discussion. You can judge that this is a very serious discussion by the way I put the tail of my Uago. You see where the tail is facing. It will help you to know that today we are up for a very serious discussion. Discussion that centers on identity of the Igbo people. Any subject that discusses identity is a very serious subject. It's not a subject to joke around with. So today we are looking at the Igbo identity. I experienced power outage, but it's okay. We can still have our live stream because I've used other alternative means to provide power. I've shared the video to my audience on Facebook, and I am encouraging you to please share to your own audience as well. Let's have a heart-to-heart discussion. So what do you think? Do you really think Igbos are related to the Jews? Drop your comments here ask your questions as well. If you drop your comment, I'll read it out loud so that other people can listen and also learn from you. For me, I will also share my experience and thoughts with you. Whatever opinion I share here is based on what I have gathered from research. I have thoroughly conducted research, also did interviews of people. I did prehistoric research and then did research of the now. How is it done now and how was it before this era? So what I found out is what I am here to share with you. In case you're just joining us, this is Enuani Cultural Forum. Not on that. So in case you're just joining us, this is Enuani Cultural Forum, where we promote the rich cultural heritage of the Igbo people. Please kindly share this video to your audience. We are discussing, are Igbo people really related to the Jews? How? And what are the indicators that we are related to the Jews? Now, a former president of Ohaneze Ndi Igbo, Dr. Dozie Ikedife, who is from Nnewi, a renowned academician, somebody who was very well enlightened. In fact, people who know him very well said he was a gynecologist. So, but he was the president general of Ohaneze Ndi Igbo. He once made this famous statement. We and the Israelites have the same cultural practices, making us look the same. So he posited that even if we look alike and we have the same cultural practices, there's no way the Igbos can claim to have come from Israel. Otherwise, it is the Israelites who came from the Igbos, because Igbo land is way older. In terms of historical research, Igbo land is way older than the land of Israel. He has a lot of evidences and facts to back up the claim that he made. It is not even a claim, it is a fact. The youngest or the newest artifact found in Igbo land was found around Ibuku, and it was dated to be in the 9th century. It is in fact the most sophisticated artwork you can think of in the world in terms of its detail and how it is a masterpiece. It is the most sophisticated piece of art you can think of. It is the youngest, it is the newest you found in Igbo land, and it is 9th century. There are other locations in Igbo land, like Leja in Nsukka, where you have the oldest iron smelting site in the world, indicating that humans have lived in that part of the world for over 1.5 million years. In Leja, Nsukka, present-day Enugu State. You also have other evidences at Okigwe, present-day Abia State. I know some people will say Okigwe is in Imo State. Yes, when it was just Imo State, Ugwele was under Okigwe zone. Now that we have it under Abia State, it is still Okigwe zone, but Ugwele is in Abia State. And that is where you have the oldest stone tools ever discovered in the world. Over 250,000 years when it was dated. So, historical evidences, archaeological research points to the fact that Igbo land is way older than the present-day location called Israel, or even the documented Israel tribe of the Bible, which is usually pegged around 2,000 years ago, or at most 4,000. So, it is well established, that one is not a debate, that Igbo land is way older than the land of Israel. So, where exactly did this relationship with the Jews come from? Is it that there were Igbo people who migrated to the present day Israel, or as the Bible recorded, that people migrated towards south of the river of Cush, and that south is the present day Igbo land? If you visit Nri Kingdom, you will hear stories of a certain man called Eri, who is a son of God, and God being one of the sons of Abraham. So these people are listed as among the people who are the lost tribes of Israel. So it is believed that Eri begat Nri Kingdom, and that Eri, that very man Eri, was a man from Israel. He is a Jew, that he is the father of Igbo land, that it was his influence, the influence of the Nri priests, that brought together these cultural practices that is very unique of Igbo people together. That it was because the Nri priests were moving from one community to another to bring about leadership, to do spiritual works, that brought harmonization of Igbo cultural practices. Because there are lots of areas of convergence, and we're going to look at them stepwisely. In case you're just joining us, I'm encouraging you to please share this video to your audience. Also like the video. If you are not a subscriber already, please subscribe to our channel. This is Enuani Cultural Forum, where we promote the rich cultural heritage of the Igbo people. I'm going to take the advice I just gave to you by sharing the same video to my own audience again on my second page. So please share this video to your audience. Please share this video to your audience. Welcome back to my channel. In case you are just joining us, this is Enuani Cultural Forum. In case you are just joining us, this is Enuani Cultural Forum, where we promote the rich cultural heritage of the Igbo people. And today we are discussing, are Igbos truly the lost tribe of Israel? If you believe they are, why? What are your reasons? Now, I said we are going to reel out reasons, factual reasons, and areas of convergence between the Igbo culture and the Jewish culture. First, we are going to look at circumcision, IGBO, in Igbo culture. Remember, it was God himself who gave Abraham the instruction to circumcise his children and every member of his family. He even began by circumcising himself at an old age. Abraham himself was circumcised. So, you can argue that circumcision happens in every part of Africa. Therefore, there's nothing unique. Africans do circumcision, even for the girl child. Most of them do circumcision until now that it is outlawed under the name female genital mutilation. It was outlawed, or it has been outlawed, for women and girls to be circumcised. Now, Africans in different culture practice circumcision, so it doesn't make it any unique if Igbos practice it. Okay, so we're looking at circumcision. It is not about circumcision, but on what day does Africans do their own circumcision, and on what day do the Igbo people do theirs? Circumcision in Igbo land is done on the 8th day, and that is the same day the children of Israel in the Bible use for their own circumcision. Now, we have been doing this before our first European contact. So it goes to show that there's a relationship. This definitely cannot be a coincidence. Igbo land do Ibeugu on the 8th day, the same day it is done by the Jews, as instructed to Abraham by God himself. So this is one area of convergence. I hope you got that Igbos and the Jews do circumcision on the same day, and it is strictly instructed for the male child, unless those who are overzealous that go ahead to do it for the female child. Now, The Bible recorded that Abraham circumcised every male child in his family as instructed to him by God. And then for the newborns, they started doing it on the 8th day. So this is the number one area of convergence between the Igbo culture and the Jewish tradition. That is number one. In case you're just joining us, this is Enuani Cultural Forum, where we promote the rich cultural heritage of the Igbo people so that the candle of our culture and tradition will continue to burn. Now, the second area of convergence, which a lot of people know is very popular, is our postnatal care called Omugwo. There are records of postnatal care by the Jews of the Bible. When a child is born, how the mother of the lady who puts to bed goes to look after the child. It is strictly enshrined in Igbo culture. Inomugwo. That is the number two area of convergence between the Igbo culture and the Jewish culture. Number three, very unique and important. It is only in Igbo land that we practice this thing called Igbo. When a person has committed some sort of abominable act and it's required to do propitiation, we do what is called scapegoating. Now, there are two ways of doing scapegoating. A goat can be brought, killed, and its blood used to appease a particular offense, to propitiate a particular offense. On the other hand, a goat can be brought, cursed, completely cursed, and led to the wilderness, that is, to carry away the sins of the people. This is also a Jewish culture. In fact, that was why Jesus came. When Jesus came, they said, he has come, the blood of the lamb, the blood that speaketh better things than the blood of Abel, that the blood of Jesus, who is considered a lamb, will speak better than the blood of goats and rams that they were killing before. So that is one strong area of convergence, that the Igbos can bring a goat, it is the same thing called scapegoat in English. When you hear the word scapegoat, it is biblical, and it is an Israelite culture found in Igbo culture. This is one strong area of convergence that you cannot dismiss unless you do not know Igbo culture. There is something you will do. Very jokingly, the elders will say, let him go and give us goat. Why goat? In most cases, some people do ram. Why goat or ram? Why? That is what the Bible calls lamb. Why goat? For sin. Why? Why not cow or eagle? Or, in Igbo culture, it is enshrined that when they are doing propitiation for sin, it is usually the blood of a goat or a ram. That is what they call lamb now. Blood of the lamb, they say, is Jesus, whose blood speaks better than the blood of those animals. In Igbo culture, it is the same, that a goat can be brought, all the sins of the people placed on that goat, the goat will go away with the sin of those people. It has become a scapegoat. That is where the word scapegoat came from. The goat has carried away the sins of the people. So when one person takes the punishment for the sins committed by others, the person is believed to have become a scapegoat. This is in terms of convergence between the Igbo culture and the Jewish culture. There are some other areas of convergence. I would like to share every one of them with you. But first, I would like you to please hit the like button if you are watching this video and you have learned one or two things from it. We have over 50 people watching this video and we have just 2 likes. please use your thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you don't even like what we are talking about, but give us a thumbs up, please. And then share this video to your audience. This is Enuani Cultural Forum, and my name is Onwode Ngozi Chukwuka Fortune. Thank you so much for giving us a thumbs up. I can see 3 thumbs up there. So every single thing that you do, the progress shows here. Some people can even take it a step further by giving us super thanks. So let's look at the third area of convergence. Now, the Igbos, our ancestors, understood the very power of sexual morality. It was not something to be joked with at all. In fact, they believed that for Jesus to come into this world unblemished, he had to come through a young girl who was a virgin. In this case, it was Mary. So, our Igbo ancestors understand this very principle. That is why it wasn't just in the case of Jesus, it is in the case of every marriage. Virginity of the bride, it is prioritized. It is not something to negotiate or joke with. This is why after a marriage ceremony, there's another ceremony to test virginity. It is no longer there today because what we called abomination in the past, they have replaced it with sin. And they have told you that you can commit that sin and you will be forgiven. Once you kneel down and pray, or once you go for confession, you will be free. You don't have anything to bother about anymore. God will forgive you. God understands. But culturally, we had them as abomination and a disgrace to a family. Now, after a marriage ceremony, there's another ceremony. It is called Imenwa. It is in this night of Imenwa that the virginity of a young girl who just got married is tested. And incidentally, this is also a Jewish custom. In the Jewish tradition, when a young girl is married and she turns out not to be a virgin, it is believed the marriage is cancelled. In fact, there's a place in the Bible where it is recorded. I can't place my hand exactly where now, but by the time I edit this video, I will place where in the Bible it is recorded. That if you, after your marriage, you find out that the young girl is not a virgin, you return the bride, or half of the money will be given back to you. This is Igbo culture, converging and agreeing with the Jewish tradition. So, I want to hear from you, who is my viewer. Do you agree in any way that Igbos are related to the Jews? If you ask an Igbo person, because I have done so, you may want to do us a favor by going to our channel and watch the video posted about this topic. It was a documentary. I took time to do that should be a 20 minutes documentary on the relationship between Igbos and the Jews, where I brought out how people started perceiving Igbos as Jews. Now, people who study history, who know history, anthropologists as at the early 19th century, before the Europeans came here as missionaries, they already studied the Bible and they know there are lost tribes of Israel. There are lost tribes of Israel. When I mean Israel this time, I'm not talking about the country called Israel. Israel as a country is different from Israel as a people. Israel as a people are the 12 sons of Jacob, beginning with Judah, down to the sons of Benjamin, who was the last son of Jacob. So you are now going to be looking at the sons of Ephraim, the sons of Joseph, the sons of Benjamin, the sons of every single person named as a son of Jacob. And if I go deeper into this, you will even learn that the Yorubas are sons of Ephraim historically. Now, let me not delve into that so that I will not deviate. That is where you see that the Igbos and the Yorubas are related. Now, when these missionaries left London to Africa, they came with actual writings in Hebrew language, believing that they will meet Hebrews who will be in Africa, who can understand what they are saying. But they didn't meet any group speaking Hebrew. But when they translated what they had in Hebrew to English, to Igbo, now some people think Igbo and Hebrew means the same. Some people think that. I'm not disputing it. I'm not also agreeing. Now, some people think that the word Hebrew means Igbo. Some also say it means Igbo, ancient people. Now, when they translated what they had in Hebrew to Igbo and explained it to the people, they began to tell themselves, these are my brothers. Now, among the tribes that embraced Christianity in Africa, you cannot compare the way the Igbos and Yorubas embraced Christianity with any other tribe in Africa, in the whole of Africa. This is to tell you they saw themselves in the stories depicted in the Bible. They began to see themselves. All the stories they were telling, none of them was like, what are you saying? They looked very much like an Igbo story. The Bible stories looked very much like an Igbo story. There were not too many things that were not there. The pouring of libation to make prayer is in the Bible. It is biblical to pour libation. It is also biblical to tosemanya and ask your ancestors to go and fight for you. It is biblical. The type of drink self you will use for if you are asking for revenge, the one you will use if you are asking for thanksgiving, they are all specified in the Bible book of Leviticus. So when the Bible was translated to Igbo language, the Igbos now embraced the missionaries. It is remarkable to note that during the Civil War, that during the Nigerian genocidal war against the Igbos, I don't like calling it civil war, that was a genocide. Now, during the Nigerian genocidal war against the Igbos, in Owerri zone, there were still missionaries who were not ready to leave. There were still Igbos who were lining up to do mass, to say their mass and pray, because they have now accepted Christianity with all their hearts and soul. They saw themselves as brothers of these missionaries who came. So this is one of the core reasons why the Igbos embraced Christianity, because Christianity that came then, not this type we have now, Pentecostalism, that tells you your ancestors are evil. When me will soon become an ancestor, and I now accept that my ancestors are evil. Am I evil? And then if I die now, my children will start seeing me as an evil person. Our ancestors were not evil. They were not evil. So the Bible books were translated and they were saying, in the name of God of Abraham, God of Isaac, God of Jacob. You say, these people are mentioning the ancestors to offer prayer. This is who we are. The same way the Igbo man will have his Ofo and Ogu. Say, So then they have symbolism, they have staff to pray with. The Igbo man quickly embraced Christianity because he saw himself in the Bible stories depicted. The Omogo, the scapegoat, even the names were sounding similar. Names like Ada, to mean first daughter, is in the Bible. It cannot be a coincidence. Names like Ada, meaning first daughter, is in the Bible. The culture of men, a patrilineal system of inheritance where only men can inherit their father's property, as it is in Igbo culture, is in the Bible. I will have a story of 3 girls who came to complain that their father has been disinherited because he has three daughters. And they made a case and brought it before Joshua that their father fought with the army and died. Now they are sharing land. They don't want to give to the father because he doesn't have a son. They made a case. And Noah prayed and Joshua prayed about it and he was asked to give them their inheritance. So most of the cultural practices in the Bible and the one in Igbo culture are the same. The way you will bring out, because my Igbo language teacher when I was in the university, his name was Mazi Ibekwe. My Igbo language teacher, his name was Mazi Bekwe. Mazi Bekwe had this story to share with us. It's very funny, but it sounded very real. He said in the Garden of Eden, which is believed to be in present day around Ethiopia or even as far as Mesopotamia. Now, if I begin to analyze these things, you ask yourself, how did Madagascar become part of Africa and Israel is not a part of Africa, right? But it is part of Europe. The people who did cartography did their best to undermine us as Africans. First of all, to reduce our number, just like we have it locally here in Igbo land, what Gowon did during the genocidal war. He said, if the Igbos attempt to leave, I will create core states. And he went ahead to create those core states. He created Cross River States, which is the sea in the core states. He didn't create Ogoja State anyway. Maybe he didn't have the backing. Then he created River States. Now today you have somebody who is from River State. I saw an interview of a young girl lately, and they asked the young girl, where are you from? What is your tribe? She said, I'm from River State. So River State is now the girl's tribe. So what I'm trying to discuss is how cartographers try to undermine Africa by removing places that are supposed to be originally under Africa. Go and check where Spain, Egypt, Israel, their positions in the map, and see how very close they are to Africa, but they were intentionally carved out of Africa. Egypt and Israel share boundary, very close to each other, but no, it's better to put Israel in Egypt, in Europe, and remove it from Africa so that Africa will not look that big. If they had a way of even carving Egypt out of Africa, and that is the home of global civilization. Of course, civilization started in Africa, education, everything started in Africa. Timbuktu is the first and oldest, most civilized city of the world. The city of Alexandria, where Alexander the Great founded. Alexander the Great, of course, is from Greece, the Greek. It's Egypt. The pyramids we have in Egypt and the same pyramids we have in somewhere in Enugu State today are the same. And they defeat trigonometrical calculations of modern day, even with computer science. So, the cartographers of the Europeans did their best to see how they could undermine Africa by reducing our population, by carving out places from Africa and putting in their midst. They could not recognize themselves in the Bible as much as we Africans could recognize ourselves in the Bible stories. Most of the stories told in the Bible are the same with what we practice inter alia, what we have been practicing before. Tupu anyị na-eweji mkpọlishu. Ya ka o ji bụ na ị ga-agwụgide Bible gwukwudo boga na ọgwaghị n'iga eweri mmanya ọkụ. He did not just say, he said strong drink, that is the language in the Bible, and pour it to the ground and offer prayers to your God. Try it today, and the modern day Christians will tell you that you are worshiping idol. In case you're just joining us, this is Enuani, a cultural forum where we promote the rich cultural heritage of the Igbo people, and I am pleading with you to please like this video. Somebody is asking me, what is your gender? Does my voice in any way sound like a woman's voice? I'm a man, of course. The 095, I am a man. Okay, because of my Okpuagu, I put it forward so that you will know we are discussing a serious topic, because the way you wear this Okpuagu will determine what it means. Facing forward like this shows we are discussing a very important topic today. I'm on a very serious mission. So today we are looking at the Igbo-Jewish connection. Are Igbos truly the lost tribe of Israel, or are the Israelites the ones who are lost and they came from Igbo land? You are forgetting Ethiopia, which has more pyramids than Egypt. Oh, thank you so much. That is true. I remember I mentioned Ethiopia here when I was talking about the Gardens of Eden. And incidentally, Ethiopia tried their best to maintain their own religion. Ethiopia has pyramids as well. This continent of Africa, thank you so much, my brother Godson Newman, for this information. Now, this continent of Africa, if they look at the oldest anthropological excavations and where they are found, you hear Sudan, you hear Nigeria, you hear Lake Chad. These places are in Africa. So people who left Africa and lost their original color, which is this black, because this is the original color, the first one. People who lost their pigmentation because of lack of sunshine, because it is sun that breeds black skin. It is sun that synthesizes black color, black pigmentation from your melanin under your skin, under your adipose tissue, which we'll call it scientifically. Thank you so much, my brother. My sister, wow, Laura Queen, for this wonderful gift. I have learned from keep on doing the great job. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this, Laura Queen. I'm trying to pin this your comments. I'm trying to pin it so that other people can also learn from it to support what we are doing. Laura Queen, what we are saying is, are Igbos really related to the Jews, or are Jews related to the Igbo? I've had to do live interviews of Igbo people to ask them, are we related? No, we are not related to the Jews. The ones who say no, we are not related, cannot dismiss the facts of our funeral rite and our marriage customs, as well as our birth rituals. When a child is born, what are the things that we do? Okay, listen to this particular point I'm bringing out. Igbos name their child according to what happened when that child was born, or the day that child was born. I'm going to give you very good similarities too, so that you will learn from it. Now, the circumstances surrounding the birth of a child will determine that child's name in Igbo culture. For instance, a parent gives birth to a child, the child dies. Gives birth to another one, the child dies. If they give birth to another one, you may just hear names like Onwode, Nkade, Isicheli. Or some people can go extreme to give that child names like Udene. I have a friend whose mother was pregnant for 3 years. And when he was born, they named him Ashwato, meaning 3 years. His name is 3 years. It means Ashwato. If you call him Ashwato, because he has other names, so that particular name, it makes him feel somehow when you call him the name. I was with him a few days ago, and somebody called him Ashwato, and he replied the person, where should require Ashwato? He's telling the person, your mother will go through the same thing my mother went through, so that they would name you Ashwato. So, what happens when a child is born plays a part in determining the child's name. If a child is born on a Ekede, you may just hear names like Nweke for a male child, Okeke for a male child, Adeke for a female child who is a first daughter, Mbweke for a female child who is not the first daughter. Now this child is named that Eke because it was an Ekede that the child was born. The same thing happens for other market days. You have Okorie, Okonkwo, Okafo for male children born on these market days. So what happened within that period when a child was born determines the child's name. Take that to the Bible story. Let's look at Jabez in the Bible, who was born in the toilet. And we have names like Jabez in Igbo culture. If a child is born in a place that is not palatable, like let's say a dustbin, they can name that child Ikponto, or they can name a child Ikponto to scare away evil spirits from that child. The same way the child can be named Udene. That same way in the Bible, a child was named Jabez because that child was born in an unpleasant environment. Have you seen that? The events that surround the birth of a child can determine the child's name. I've forgotten the name that Leah gave to her children, the particular names, but she named her children according to the moods of her husband. If she gives birth to a child, say, my husband will now look at me. My husband is no longer looking at me. My husband will not marry another wife. These were names Leah in the Bible was given to her children until she chose not to do so anymore. We had the same story around Anna and Penina in the Bible. When this Bible was interpreted to or translated to Igbo language, it was very easy for our Igbo brothers to accept it that these are our brothers, these are our brothers. Immediately, nobody convinced them any further. So how we name a child in Igbo language, in Igbo culture, also cements our relationship with the Jews. I don't know if there are other people who do that, but I'm looking specifically at our relationship with the Jews. Are Igbos truly the lost tribe of Israel, or are the Israelites sometime an Igbo people and they became lost as well? Because nobody wants to accept that tag that they are lost. We are not lost. We have been here for a very long time, and I think we like it here. As Dr. Dozie Ikedife said, we are not going anywhere because we are over 60 million Igbo people in Nigeria alone. So we cannot leave Nigeria and go and meet people who are just 7 million. The Israelites of location are around 7 million in the place they live today. So we 60 million will not go and meet 7 million. Rather, let 7 million come and meet 60 million. And that will make better sense. So we are still looking at areas of convergence between the Igbo culture and the culture of our Israelite brothers. This time I should say brothers. Like I told you that I've conducted different interviews. Some people will say no, but when you say no, we are not related to the Israelites. You are looking at history that is not prehistoric. No matter how far back you go back, you can only go as far back as oral history can carry you, because our history is usually oral. Most of our history is oral. It is not it is not documented. Our history is not, it was first oral, then documented. So whatever you have as a documented history for us now was oral history. Yes, it was oral history, then it became documented. So most of our history is lost to time. Otherwise, I bet you will still see some people who are or who were truly Igbos, but were related to the Jews. In case you're just joining us, please share this video to your audience, give us a thumbs up, drop your comments, even support us, just like our sister who said her husband is Igbo, our sister Laura Queen. This is not her first time of doing so. She has done so before, because by her comment I can remember she has done so before by giving us super thanks. Please give us super thanks to support us as well. And please, 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 I'm pleading with you, share this video and give us a thumbs up. We just have 5 thumbs up. We should have love emojis streaming up here. I know the topic we are discussing is very sensitive because it has to do with identity. We're not trying to sacrifice our identity. We are still who we are as Ndi Igbo, but we are looking for those who are related to us. Makanas when and thank you so much, whoever did this. I can feel the love, all the love emojis that are flying around. I can feel them. So there are several aspects of our cultural practices that are related to the Jews. Marriage customs as well. Marriage customs. We call our marital rites Ibamanya because we strongly believe in drinks for marriage. Can you cast that back to where Jesus performed his first miracle? A marriage ceremony. It wasn't in church or synagogue. It was a marriage ceremony when wine has finished. When what has finished? Wine. Our marriage ceremony is not just called marriage ceremony. It is called Ibamanya. Ibamanya. It is named after drink. It is named after wine. Marriage in Igbo culture is named after wine. Without wine, there is no marriage. I'm not talking of five alive because these days people bless five alive and ever Jews. And the wife will dance and go and give it to the husband. The husband will pretend as if he's drinking it. He will pour it on the ground and then act as if he's married. 2 years after, the marriage will break up and you start seeing him making noise all over social media. He wasn't married. He deceived himself, thinking he was deceiving our ancestors. You can't be wiser than the people who gave birth to you. Okulada Akadi when also. Nniwe zushe comme nniwe ryosha ada atufe. You cannot use your own small wisdom to outsmart or try to outsmart the elders or your ancestors. Our marital tradition and culture is centered around two major things. I have taught us before that there are three things that we do in Igbo land. First of all, we don't pray. I go more, I go manya, I go oji. These are three things we go na Igbo. Ibia boy na go manya wejiga anu. Ewenishe manya ndi ba na ewenishe ko ni manya wa so ndi kpokpu ai dey kpokpu ago manya na mbu. Ai dey sekpulu ani ekpekpele. Ya ma na agwo ekwensu okwu esekpulu ani maka mpegbu ko ka pegbu inyo. We sit down because we believe this ego manya is a discussion between you and your ancestors who will now commune with God. In most cases, when it is very difficult, you can commune with God, but not all the time. When you commune with this God, particularly, you don't kneel down to commune with God. You sit down to discuss with a person who has so much been touted to be your father. You sit down and discuss with your father. You don't kneel down. You don't also lose yourself to discuss with your father. For instance, you were wearing a cap to talk with your father. You want to talk with your father, you remove your cap. You no longer wear the cap again. You are no longer yourself around your father. That is not Igbo culture. So when you manya, the by and I when you ni manya. If they have prayed before, nanya kukombo ka iku abua. No kwa ijije ka igeje nwa. Nwa na ijije kwa ge nwunye. No man won't talk about. No ga mu bakwo well. They have blessed this drink very well and gave it to their daughter. Si ajebuye dia. The young girl goes around, maybe even does some tricks, dances around, takes this drink to her would-be suitor. The young man collects the drink, which their pastor has even told them earlier on that they should not use mayanko, which our marriage ceremony is named after. Mayanko, let them use five alive or any kind of orange juice. And he takes orange juice. The elders still pardon him and bless this orange juice. He takes the orange juice to the husband. The husband still pours away that orange juice, believing that those elders who bless the drink are evil. They may have poisoned it with voodoo, so that if he drinks it, his business will crash or he will just stumble and die. He pours it away, pretending that he has drank it. The young girl returns the drink to her father, who is the oldest man, the priest of that gathering. And the man collects kola nut again, breaks kola nut as an Igbo man. Maka na either atọ ọjị anyị gọna, ọwa ọjị, gụọ ọjị, gọsịa, ọgọsị ọjị wa, maka adịwa wa tupu eji ga-agọ, ọgọghe dị ọjị, gọsịa, ba wa ọjị, ba yekwu nwata nye ọzọ, si atakịrị ka ihe dị, ka ọ bụ dị takịrị ka ihe nwunye, ọ dala ya, o wee ye younger brother. The younger brother collects it and throws into his bag. They think they are smart. Now, this kola nut is the same thing as that Holy Communion that the Reverend Father will bless on your wedding day and say, take. He gives the wife, say it's your first sacrament as married couple. It's the same thing, that kola nut. It is oathing. Ojiweji chokwe baon lo we yo no nyo. Ye will ojo to enaba. Kobe ye we mafue. And then you dance, you spray money yourself and dance and scatter the whole place. You are married. Oga, you are not married. You have just wasted your time. You have just done exercise. That exercise you did was in futility. You just wasted your time completely. You are not married. Maybe you will not believe that you're not married, but in few years' time, you will realize that you were never married. So I'm bringing out convergences between the Igbo culture and the Jewish culture. Now, when Jesus went to that marriage ceremony, wine was finished. And he was disturbed because that shows you the importance of wine in a marriage ceremony. The same way it is in Igbo land. Wine was finished. Then the mother went to the disciples and told them, my son can tell you anything. I know. But when anything he tells you today, do it. Don't argue. They said, okay, ma. Very soon, the son's turn came. That also shows you that a mother should be able to understand the son or the daughter or the child. The mother already knew that my son may manifest himself today. That was his first miracle. He hasn't done one before. Let it now be that the mother already knew that he will soon do. He hasn't done one before at all. So, when he eventually, according to the Bible story, when he eventually told his disciples, go and bring water, start filling it in jerry cans, in barrels. They started filling barrels with water. People will be looking at them like mad people. And then he went there and took a cup. He did not even pray in all this. Let it now be that Jesus now went to pray. He just took a cup of it and said, go and give the chairman of the occasion. He's like a mad person that will do that. They said, go and give water to the chairman of an occasion and tell him that it is wine. The people still had that faith because the mother has already told them, whatever he says you should do, do it. They now went and gave the chairman of the occasion. He drank it and said, so you people kept the best wine for the last, that he has never seen such a beautiful marriage ceremony, that people usually bring out their best wine in the beginning and start drinking nonsense in the end. But this one, you kept the best for last. So, wine for marriage ceremony. You can go and type what wine is. There's nothing called non-alcoholic wine. Wine is alcohol. Alcohol is wine. When you hear non-alcoholic drink, it's a drink, it's not wine. Wine is a product of fermentation. Alcohol is the number one product of any fermentation process. So when you hear wine, it is the fermentation of either barley, grape, whatever is being fermented, it yields alcohol as its number one product. Then you can have water in the end. This is just pure chemistry. So that if it wasn't wine itself, the Bible will not regard it as something that intoxicates. In Proverbs chapter 20 verse 1, it says, wine is a mocker, strong drink a brawler, whosoever is led astray by it is not wise. Wine is alcohol. So wine is a serious priority in marriage customs of the Jews. Wine is a serious priority in Igbo marital tradition. In fact, marriage in Igbo land is called Ebamanya, wine presentation. I want to thank every single person who has joined this live broadcast, and I'm encouraging you to please give us a thumbs up. We have over 70 people actively watching the video now. We have just 9 thumbs up. It is poor. We want to have it very, very much higher. We can also stay online as much as we can. If you have any question so far from what we have discussed, post it here in the comment section. I will address it. Gift Okeke, my people. I am Igbo Biafra. It's so nice to see you, Gift Okeke. I greet you, Mazi. Happy Sunday, my brother. Thank you so much for your good work. Gift, I appreciate you. Thank you so much, So, as Igbo people, we have a rich and enviable cultural heritage, such that when the Europeans came, before our artifacts were discovered, because Isaiah Nozier was just in his house and he said, let me dig a well. We usually have this way of getting water in this part of the world. You dig a hole around your house, you plaster it so that when we have different seasons. When the rainy season starts from around April, May to around November, you have rainy season. The peak is around July, August. Now, water will enter that well and store so that you have drinking water in your house. Just like we have in the Bible, we have Abraham's well. We have our father Jacob's well. You have wells in the Bible. This is also something we do here. We have well. You see another similarity, wells to store water. Now, if Isaiah Nozier had not decided to dig a well around his house, people would have probably been thinking, we don't have history. We would have only been hanging on to Leja, Nsoka, Ugwele, and then the other place, Afikpo. The places where you have historical sites in Igbo land. Leja and Nsoka is the oldest iron smelting site in the world. You can fact check that as we're talking. The next one to it is in India. Now, after Leja in Nsoka, the next one is Ugwele in Abia State. It is in Okigwe zone. Ugwele is where the oldest stone tools in the world were discovered. That means in the Stone Age, humans were living in that area of the world, Ugwele. We have other historical sites like the ones I mentioned in Ibuku, where Isaiah Nozier wanted to dig a well in his house and he discovered artifacts. Now, these artifacts, some people say they were escorted to this part of the world, but no. Our ancestors were really very wise. Now, this is what makes art what it is. Art must depict the people or the lifestyle of the people. The artifacts discovered in Ibuku, there's a particular one among them. I wish I could display it here so that you people can see it. I wish there's a way I can display that artifact in this live video. It would be so nice, but it's not possible. So I will find a way to do so when I edit this video. Now, this artifact that was discovered in Ibuku, there's a particular one among them, a mask of a particular woman. You will know it's a woman because of the type of hairstyle. All right. So that artifact has Ichi marks on it. Ichi marks are usually given like this. It's a tribal mark belonging to the Igbos. Luckily for us, we still have Igbo people who were photographed by colonial photographers who bore Ichi marks. There are places they even call Ichi. We have Newi Ichi till today in Igbo land. So those artifacts are Igbo. No controversy at all. No denial. No one can take that away from us because the artifacts themselves tell Igbo story. So if Isaiah had not discovered that, people would have still been claiming that we were imported from somewhere to the present day location where we stay. Or people whose masks are around 15th century, like the Benin bronze mask, the Queen Edia's ivory mask, Some of them are very popular, but in terms of artistic detail, in terms of epoch when it was produced, it doesn't come near the Ibuku arts. It doesn't come anywhere near. So what happened in this civilization of Igbos when they started producing metals? When they started producing metals, they formed people who do metal work into a cult. In my community, we call it Ndi Akpo Uzo or Ndi Efie Uzo. Efie Uzo is not everybody's profession or vocational or mamadama. So it is not everyone that goes into the cult of people who make metals. The cult of people who make metals is so well organized that they did it in a way you cannot use that scale to produce weapons. You can use it to produce farm implements. Of course, it is not debatable that it was the Igbos that first discovered the best way to cultivate tuber crops like yam, staple foods like cocoyam, potato, and the rest. Until today too, nobody drags that with them. We know how to cultivate yam in a way that we will harvest it twice in a season. First, the one for consumption, the next one for planting. So, Ndi Efie Uzo were like a cult, and they are still like a cult today. So, Ndi Efie Uzo nwa alobo, farm implements, and alo, spiritual items. Kamne mada akpaga alo. Yabne oyo take alo title, they will give that person a certain metal. And then they have a metal making deity. In my place, they have one called Idigu. The people who are in the cult of metal works are sworn to that deity not to use their skill to craft implements that will be used for destruction. This was the wisdom and foresight of the Igbo people. There's no community anywhere in the world where you will hear that the Igbos conquered by battle. Rather, they conquered by economic prowess. They conquered by intelligence and wisdom. They conquered by spiritual superiority. Any community in the world where you see Igbos, none will tell you that the Igbos came here to do battle, now kill the people who were there and now took over. It's not possible. So the only way anyone could fight the Igbos was to spread propaganda about them that they are domineering, they are selfish, they are money loving. Who doesn't love money? Those ethnic groups that are saying Igbos love money, oh, they don't love money too. If you give them money, they will throw it away. So I want to thank you so much for joining this live broadcast. We have been online now for incredibly over 1 hour. This is very much unprecedented. I never really knew I could be online talking for this long, over 1 hour. So please, what I will require of you is to please share this video to your audience, give us a thumbs up. We have 11 people giving us a thumbs up. And I'm sure we have actively had people watching this video. Actively now we have over 50 people watching. So please give us a thumbs up. Share this video to your audience so that more people can come and join us live. We have discussed the relationship between Ndi Igbo and the Jews. We examine cultural practices of the Igbo people that converge with those of the Israelite Jews. We examine the cultural practices of Ndi Igbo that converge with the practices of those Jews, so that you can make up your mind whether Igbos are related to the Jews or not. Let's stop looking at whether we are from Jews or Jews are from us, but whether we are related. When we talk about our relationship, we can now take it a step further. Who came from who? Because that is where most Igbos from the Midwestern region, Western region, and present-day Delta states are finding things difficult. They will tell you vehemently that their ancestors did not migrate from anywhere in the Eastern region, and they are correct. Doesn't stop them from being Igbos, all right? Some of them will equally tell you that their ancestors migrated. So it depends on who is whose ancestor, because all Igbo lineages are not from one ancestor. No. In a particular community, you have different progenitors. Some will claim autochthony, that they have been there before. Some will tell you that their ancestors came. My own ancestor is the progenitor of my community, but he came and he met people on ground. Those people he met on ground, two groups. One claims autochthony. Another one lays claim to migration from Anidu, which is present-day Benin Kingdom. So, here you have it. Relationship of the Igbos with the Jews. We looked at 5 major areas of convergence. We looked at Omogo. We looked at the scapegoat, Ewuolo, and Ewunkwa Dufue. We looked at names and circumstances that lead us to give our children certain names. We talked about circumcision. We also said that circumcision was not so direct because everywhere in Africa they do circumcision. But what makes the Igbo circumcision process very unique is that it is done on the 8th day. And the Jews also do theirs on the 8th day. So that is what makes our own unique and converges very well with. So we talked about our marriage rites as well. How wine is very important in our marriage, that we have to now name it Ebanku or Ebamanya in Igbo language. Although today people are no longer doing Ebanku, they are doing Eba 5 Alive and Eba Jews. So the mother na-agbazi Jews these days in the name of Ebanku. But it's all good as long as the Jews was eventually taken, because we have a way of renaming items. We also looked at funeral rites. Did we? If we didn't look at funeral rites, let's look at funeral rites. In Igbo, a person is buried completely because we believe in reincarnation. When Jesus came, they said, this must be Elijah. Some said, no, it's not Elijah. This must be this. They were looking at the people who have come and gone, that they are back in Jesus's body. It means these Jews also believe in reincarnation. We do as well. Yako jibona enyi ozu na enyi kwa ma maka na we did imemenu na akwamozu ama anu ashisho ụwa. Yako jibona mmadụ shogbu onwe. In fact, there are so many areas of convergence. I cannot stop talking about them. The Bible says, cursed is he that hangeth on a tree. Jesus was declared cursed because they believe he hung on a tree, was killed on a tree. He died as a curse so that you can become blessed. That is what Christians will say, okay? Now, in our culture, we also believe that a person who dies on a tree is cursed. In fact, the eyes that sees a person who hangs on a tree or who hung on a tree will go for cleansing. The first eyes that see a person who dies by suicide will go for cleansing in Igbo culture. So we believe a person who dies by hanging himself or herself is cursed. And we also believe the person is not qualified for a funeral rites. This is also Jewish custom. There are so many areas of convergence between the Igbo culture and the Jewish culture. So many areas of convergence. Is it the shaving of head and what it means? Remember how Samson left his head? That is also how some children will be born. Don't touch the head. If you touch the head, you will have headache. And you will leave the head. What about burying? What about using the placenta or umbilical cord of a child to plant something? In Igbo culture, there are so many areas, more than that is areas that I cannot even mention right now outrightly in this video, of convergence between the Igbo culture and the Jewish culture. Now, does that mean we are Jews? I will leave that question to you. Having presented to you all these areas of convergence, there are areas of divergence as well. But we are centering on these areas of our relationship. And we are not asking who is from who, because it will be easy for us to say they are from us because we are older. Igbo land is older than the land of Israel. Historical facts point to this. Artifacts that have been discovered in Igbo land point to this. The sophistry of African culture point to this. So I hope you enjoy this live broadcast, and I'm encouraging you to please share this video to your audience. Share this video to your audience. Share it, share it, share it. Share it widely. Share it to your audience so that when people watch, in the end, they will make up their mind whether we are related to the Jews or not. Not that we are from the Jews. You know how people use their language really matters. When you say we are from, you cannot come from what you are older than. But you can be related to something you are older than. So we are not from, we are related. And I believe we are related. Please share this video and give us a thumbs up. We have 44 active people watching. Let 44 people give us a thumbs up. What this thumbs up and likes and comments and engagements that I'm talking about does is that it pushes up this video to the algorithm, suggesting that it is a video that has good content so that the knowledge can go viral. I want so many people to watch this video. It is not because live videos are highly monetized. They are not. It is because I want this knowledge to go viral. I want a lot of people to watch this video. I don't think there has been any video explaining this relationship between Igbos and the Jews in such a detailed manner as we have done here today, you and I. And it is a live video where I left it open for anybody to ask any questions so that I will answer, because I'm ready to take questions from you so that we can communicate. Guys, like the video now. I just double tap. Thank you so much, Hannah. Thank you so much, Hannah. I appreciate it. Please like the video. Jews are from Igbo. Lontras says so, and I believe you, Lontras. I love money and I love art. Thank you very much. Truly, you just hear them saying that Igbos love money so much. Who doesn't love money? Everybody loves money. All these tribes that are claiming Igbos love money, they are so domineering. They also love money. Please keep doing what you are doing. Thank you, Ephraim. Thank you, Ephraim. Thank you so much. Big Moses, good evening from here, sir. Good evening, my brother. I appreciate you. Anoro Ohazurike. Hi, how are you doing? And I have Promise Akachuku. Mazi, you are doing well. Keep up the good work. Please, what part of Igbo are you from? Oh, I have not been able to say so. I am from Ubuluku in Delta State. I am from Ubuluku in Anyocha South local government area of Delta State. There are 9 local governments where the Igbo people live in Delta State. And these 9 local governments are in 3 different subgroups of Igbo. They are Eka. So under Eka, we have Eka South and Eka Northeast. It is this Eka, under this Eka, that you have places like Abo, Umunede, Owa, and the rest. You have Ndokwa. Ndokwa are the Okwani people. Okwani means lowland, below the leg. Okwani, lowland. Now, these Okwani people are the ones in Ndokwa West. Okwani local government, and Ndokwa East. Now, that's where you have your Kwale, Obiaroko, Otabogbe, Otabono, Ogume, and the rest. That is Okwani. Then you have Enuani. Enuani is where you have the Anyocha Oshimili people. Anyocha Oshimili is Anyocha South, Anyocha North, where you have Owashuku, Ubuluku, Iseluku, Onichugbo, Onicholona, Ezi, Obio, and then you have Oshimili. Under Oshimili, you have Oshimili South and Oshimili North. Oshimili South has Asaba, Oko, Okpanam. Oshimili North has Akuku Igbo, Ibuzo, and the rest, and the La. So, I am from Ubuluku in Anyocha South local government area of Delta State, and we are the Enuani people. The Enuani people are the Anyocha Oshimili people. That is my hometown, and that's where I'm reaching you from. Ubuluku is the community where several Igbo communities migrated from. Ubuluku is where Oza migrated from, the one who founded Ozobolo, Oza Obolo, Ozobolo. You have Obolo in Anambra, Obolo in Anambra State, yes. You have Obolo is not very far from Obolo Ihejiofo. They call it Oboloru now in Imo State. You have Oko Ovoro in Mbise. All of them are Obolo communities. You have Uboru in Ebonyi State. You have Oboloha Ozara. That is that Oboro in Ebonyi State. You have Oboloha Ozara in Enugu State as well. All these are Obolo communities. You have Obolo Ikem in Anambra State. So there are so many Obolo communities in the other side of Omambala River. And there are so many Obolo communities in this side of Omambala River. You have Obolo in Amai, Okwane. You have Okwelo Obolo. You have Obetimo Obolo. All these are in Okwane, and they are Obolo communities. We also have Ezemu communities in Eka. So that is pretty much about my hometown, and I am an Igbo man. I know certainly you must have come across people from this side of the world, people from Delta State who will tell you they are not Igbo. That is why I am identifying myself not just as Igbo, but I dress as Igbo. You can see me wearing this Okpuago or Okpuododo as Okpume. So I thank you so much for keeping me company today. It was really a nice time. My Igbo people of the earth, a gift to cake. Thank you so much. So Justin, Uche Chuku, nice one. Thank you so much. My best friend is from Ubuluku, the Obaze family. Oh, the Obaze family. Now look at that name, Obaze. If you hear the name, you will think they are Benin people because the Benin people are the ones who bear Oba. So because of our relationship with Benin, if the Oba comes to take shelter in my community, a name will come out of it. When Ovoranwen, for instance, was dethroned by the British during the punitive expedition of 1897, his first point of call was Ubuluku, and he spent 3 days in Ubuluku before he moved to Calabar. As he was leaving Ubuluku to Calabar, some people were also given to him to take care of him, to attend to him, because he was dethroned and exiled without servants. Then a child was born, and the child was named Obanwa. Obanwa. It is still a prominent surname today in Ubuluku, Obanwa, meaning the Oba should come back. Obazeri, Obazei means Oba came to take shelter. Obaze, Oba came to take shelter. So when you see the Bini people of today insulting the Igbos, especially the Igbos of Delta State, saying that we were under them, you will just feel bad for them. Laura Queen. Laura Queen, you have done this again, and I don't know how to thank you. Maybe I should ask every other person in the comment section to please help me to thank this our dear wife, Laura Queen, for sending me super thanks again. This is her second time in this particular broadcast. Maybe you can take a cue from her. You who is Igbo by birth. Laura became Igbo by marriage. And she's just sending me super thanks. It's not her first day of doing so. And today she has sent twice. Thank you, Laura. I appreciate you. Please, ụmụnne ndị Igbo, nerini Laura anya o, n'afa dị mma wee sụọ anụ ọfịa aza. Laura, the proverb I just said is, it is a good name that one shares with animals that are in the forest. Names like lion, we call it Odom or Awolo. You hear Igbo people bearing that name, Odom or lion. You hear Igbo people bearing names like Eni, elephant. You hear Igbo people bearing names like Ugo, Ego. So, I'm telling my Igbo brothers and sisters to imitate Laura. Bear this good name that Laura is also bearing. Support us by giving us super thanks if it's convenient for you. Thank you so much, Laura. I really, really appreciate this. So, I was trying to explain how the Benin and Igbos of this part of the Niger are related. We influenced each other so much so that I can pick up to 30 words. Maybe that will be my next live video. Up to 30 words that are the same in Igbo and in Benin language till today. Even most of the artifacts are given Igbo names. Either Igbo or Yoruba names. You hear Queen Idia's mask. They call that mask Iyoba. Iyoba. Oba's mother. So Queen Idia was the Oba's mother. Oba Esige precisely. Esige's mother, Iyoba. So they call it Iyoba's mask or Queen Idia's mask. The same way you find Okuko. Okuko is a chicken in Igbo language. Okuko is a chicken in Benin language. The same way they name their artifacts, a very popular artifact, Okuko. There are so many other names. So when your friend, I'm saying this because of your friend, my brother, who you said is your best friend, his name is Obaze. I was trying to explain to you how very much our influence over the Benins was, as their own was over ours. We have names like Usifu as surnames today. They are Benin names who came to our area to settle. We have Osekwe. That is, they have mixed Igbo now with a Benin name for God, Osekwe. God agrees or God accepts. Please expatiate further on the historic details of Anyoma people and how they are identified. I say so due to deliberate conflicting thoughts on this matter. Thank you so much. I'm answering my brother, Stanley C. Nnadi. By this name, Nnadi, I want to believe you are from either River State. And when it's River State, I will be saying Omok area. I have families, friends who are from Obagi, and their name is Nnadi, a very prominent family. And then I also have people who bear the name in Abia State. So let me answer you. The Anyoma history is very complex, but I'm going to make it very simple by looking at the origins of the people who peopled the area now called Anyoma. The area we now call Anyoma has people from Igbo extraction on it who migrated from Unri. We have people who are autochthonous, and we have people from Igala, few. We have people who are from Idu. Let me look at them this way. The group who are from Idu were led to this part of Anyoma, this part of Igbo land called Anyoma by Ezechima. Ezechima, documented to be an Igbo man who lived in Ado. Ado is in present-day Ekiti State, where you have Ado Ekiti. Before he moved down to Benin during the reign of Oba Orobua. If you check the monarchical order of Benin, you will see a man called Oba Orobua. So, Oba Orobua gave to Ezechima the chieftaincy title of Iyase of Benin. Before he was given that title, it is believed that that title had been vacant for over 50 years. This is according to Chief Edisiri, the Esoba of Benin. So, the Esoba of Benin mentioned that Oba Orobua gave Ezechima the title of Iyase. Also, in the book Origins of Migrations of Igbo-speaking People of the Western Niger by Professor Emmanuel Nwafo Modi and Dr. Opone, states very clearly the different accounts of migrations of the Ezechima people. It is believed that Ezechima was also married to Princess Edelayo, a daughter of Oba Orobua, who at the time was supposed to ascend the throne of her father, but could not because of her status as a woman. Therefore, her husband was given the title Eze. It is now called Eze na Chima. Chima being the husband, the Eze being the wife. This account doesn't align very well. But the real account was that Eze Chima was given a title of Iyase in Benin. Of course, there are still prominent Igbo people holding titles in the palace of Benin till tomorrow. So, he was given this title. They had a clash. His people had a clash with the mother of the Oba. And then the Oba was upset. There was a clash between them. It led to a war. And the people of Ezechima fled to present-day location of Enuani and founded communities like, he has children. I can mention up to 4 of Ezechima's children. Oheze or Oreze, depending on your Igbo dialect, was the first son. It is the children of Oheze who lived away. They now call them Ndi Oniche or Onocha. That is where you call Onitsha today. Everywhere they live, they call them Onocha because they shifted away from the immediate lineage after Oheze died. They tried to succeed their father. The people refused that. If a first son dies in Igbo culture in the presence of his father, he loses the right to be a first son. So Oheze lost that right to be a first son. So his descendants founded Onichubo. In the entrance of Onichubo, you see them where they boldly wrote Okpale Ezechima. After Onichubo, you now have Okpale as a son of Ezechima as well. The founder of Obompa as a son of Ezechima. Odinibo or Olibo, some say Olibo, as a son of Ezechima. In fact, he's the last son. Let nobody come and confuse me that he's the first. He's the last son of Ezechima. When Ezechima died, the first son of Ezechima was Obio. That is why Ezechima was buried in Obio. So the children of Ezechima are one of the set of people who live in Enuani. That is the Ezechima clan, the Ezechima dynasty. They call themselves Umu Ezechima, Ndi Adoni Idu, because they lived in Ado and lived in Idu, present-day Benin, before they came down here. They are not Benin people. They are Igbo people. How are they Igbo people? All the names of the children of Ezechima are Igbo names. His own name, an Igbo name. Their custom and tradition, the same thing with our own. If they were also not Igbo, if they were Benin, we would have had Oba of Iseluku now, not Obi of Iseluku. We would have had Oba of Onichubo, not Obi of Onichubo. We would have had Oba of Onitsha, not Obi of Onitsha. We would have had Oba of Obio, not Obi of Obio. But all these places have Obi, not Oba. You will say, oh, they use Ada and Eben. Thank you. Before Ada and Eben, every Obi must first of all be administered with Ofo. Ofo is the recognized Igbo traditional implement or tool for leadership. No one also swears by Ada and Eben. They swear by Ofo till tomorrow. The Obi of Iseluku has Ofo. Obi of Ubuluku has Ofo. Obi of Onitsha has Ofo. Ada and Eben is a royal insignia that the Portuguese brought in for them. Some will say that it was also used during the Ogiso era, that it was Ogene that makes it. Okay. But the people who popularized it for them by making better Ada and Eben were the Portuguese, because they were the ones who established the Benin kingdom by giving them tools to go to war and conquer their neighbors. You can conquer a people, but you cannot change their cultural practices. You can also influence their culture. You cannot change their tradition. Tradition is passed from generation to generation. It is difficult to change. Culture is very dynamic. In fact, that's the language, very dynamic. So we have discussed the children of Ezechima. They founded communities like Iseluku. Under Iseluku, you have, or beside Iseluku, let me not say under, beside Iseluku, you have Isele Bitima. You have Isele Araba. Iseluku is also called Isele Ono. You have Obio, Ezi, Obompa, Onichoko. And then you have this present location of Onitsha. These are the children of Ezechima. Then you have Umuezemu. Umuezemu and Umuneezemu are the ones in Obolo clan and parts of Nsokwa clan. Because the clans no longer represent the origin of migrations of the people who live there. In Obolo, you have Obuluku, founded by Ezemu himself. From Obuluku, you have Obolo Kiti. From Obuluku, you have Ozo Obolo, Obolo Isi Uzo, Obolo Ọha Ọzara, Obolo Ihe Jọfọ, Oko Ovoro. So all these Obolos that I mentioned are descendants of Ezemu, founder of Obuluku in present-day Delta State. You have Obolono, founded by Obodo, a brother of Ezemu. Ezemu and his brothers also migrated from Ile-Ife. They are among the Igbos who lived in Yoruba land, who came back as a product of recoil migration around the 12th century. Another group of settlers in Western Igbo land are, wow, you make history interesting. Thank you so much, my sister Anna. So we have another group of settlers in this part of Igbo land called Olukumi people. Olukumi means my friend in Yoruba language. When they came here, anybody they see, they'll say, Olukumi, Olukumi, my friend, my friend. And our people started calling them Ndi Olukumi. People who call people my friend. Ezechima is a native doctor, origin of Archaeological. Yes, of course, there are some accounts that put forward this thing, not as you said it so. That Ezechima is from Aro, who went and also came back. So, as I was saying, the people who founded Ubuluku, Obolono, Ashama are Igbos who went and came back as a product of recoil migration. And then we are now talking about the Olukumi people. Olukumi people are people who fled Benin when Ekaladreha came and there was crisis in Anidu. They are Yoruba people. So they fled and came to this area and were assimilated into our midst. They call themselves Ndi Olukumi. Either Olukumi or Onukumi is the same thing. It means my friend in Yoruba. Now they are Yoruba speaking people, but they are now Igbo people because their language is Igbo, their culture is Igbo, and their kings are called Obi or Oloza. Oloza is a Yoruba word for a ruler. Now, they live in Okonzo. They live in Obolobo. They live in Ubodu. They live in Uboba. All these areas are called Olukumi people. They speak a Yoruba kind of language, and they speak the Igbo language as well. So I'm looking at the identities of people who live in Enuani. Now, mark this word. The ones who claim to be from Benin are the children of Ezechima, who some of whom are confused about the identity today. They are not Benin people. They are descendants of Ezechima, who, when there was trouble, if he was a Yoruba man, he would have gone back to Ado, but he came back home, eastwards. Another group that lay claim to Benin ancestry are the ones who came to fight the Adesuwa War and were defeated. I believe one of these days I should be able to discuss this topic with one of the descendants of those who came to fight that Aya Adesuwa in 1750 between the Benin and Obuluku, and they were defeated. The Benis were defeated, their soldiers were assimilated into our fold, and we are now living together as one. Now, the Igala factor. Communities like Ela and Oko will claim that they are from Igala, but the ancestor who came speaks Igbo, bears Igbo name, has Ofo. So it is very complex. For a place like Ela today, it is not Ela, it is Allah, because they used to call them on the Allah. So the white man translated it when they were documenting names of communities as Ela. Nat, Google it. We first settled his name with, which is Marco from Ndoni, and here father was Akalaka, a native doctor that came back from Benin. Akalaka is the same Akalaka that the Oba people are claiming he's a Benin man. This wasn't a Benin man. Now let's look at it geographically in terms of cartography. Communities around Onitsha, like Obaru and the rest, in the olden days, they will be saying they are from Onitsha. They are not from Onitsha. That is just what happened. Most of these communities that their children in River State are saying they are from Benin are either from Ndokwa, that is Okwane, or Enuani. They are not Benin people. You cannot be actively telling me that your father's name is Akalaka and he was a Benin man. It's not possible. So the next group of people who live in this area are the ones that I said are claiming Egala origin, and I mentioned Ela and Oko community. Some also say Asaba is Egala related because the founder of Asaba, Nteje, that is what's it called, Nebisi, a man. They said he's from Nteje, and those Nteje people are related to Egala. That's a secondary migration relationship. In all, one thing is very certain. We have a cultural festival every year called OFAC, Organization for Advancement of Anyoma Culture. And in that conference, we don't use English. It's part of the principles. We speak Igbo. Now, how we do our Igbo is the Igbo version of your community. Speak it. And when you speak it, you'll be surprised that it is mutually intelligible. So what are we saying? There's no one community in all this. Even the Olukumi people speak their own version of Igbo. I've shared videos here. You can search my page to see the Olukumi people. They speak Igbo very well. You hear names like Adebowale Ochei, Nwachukwu Adeyemi, Yoruba Igbo names in this part of, because this place is like a blend of other tribes. But if you are to check by percentage, our cultural practices are over 90% Igbo practices. I've written about our cultural practices. I've done videos on them. And you, my Igbo brothers from every part of the world, can relate with them. It simply means we are all Igbos and we are all brothers. So we are all brothers. I've answered you, my brother Stanley. Okay, so I've explained how we are related, how this place, Anyoma, is. We are Igbo people. I stay in Omok and I agree with you on the Nnadi name and family in Obagi. Okay, I lived in Obogu for a while. And interestingly, when I lived in Obogu, oh my God, Igbo bofu, Igbo bofu. When I lived in Obogu, I didn't take more than 2 months and I started speaking the language. Although you will notice that this man is speaking this language, but his mouth is not very strong. So when I come down at the gate and somebody greets me, Ye, Made, I will say, My, Okorobia. If it's a woman, say, Kando, I will say, Abogo. I will answer the person very well and go. They will be looking at me. One ba Moyoba. I will say, Yes, I'm Moyoba. Onye Kolo, that is which side of Oba? I will say, Mba Moyobagi. Waka Hezekiah Nadi ya Obagi. That I am from Obagi, the son of Hezekiah Nadi, but I was born in Port Harcourt. Nobody will believe that I am not from Obagi. I had only stayed there 1 month. And I started living with the indigenes, started blending with them I even go to a Igbo festival to make videos. And people believe that I am one of them. Igbo bofu. While there, you will hear them express very strong skepticism about Ndisoma. Who are Ndisoma? The Eastern Igbos. They don't believe they like Ndisoma at all. It's rather they will hug a Delta person or a Edo person. They will say they are not Igbos. I will just be laughing at them. Because our language was the same. Everything they do is the same with what we do. Everything, not some things. So if I speak Oba, by the time I start speaking their language, you will not know I'm not from there. When I will now make mistakes, say, where is this man from actually? Where is this man from? So Oba language, Igbo language, Oba is just an Igbo dialect. I know we have delved so much away from where we started from, because we started from discussing the Jewish relationship. Nteje is not Egala. Nteje goes to Egala to collect charm. So you see this thing you explain now, Willie Metu, is a very vital knowledge. You see let me not go too far. You see the guys from Asaba here are some of them can be very funny. During the last Igbo Cultural Day in the United Kingdom, I was so proud of the publisher of Anyoma Voice. His name is Obueshiakamesike Manuel Ikonne. You see the name Ikonne in Imo State. It's a prominent name also in Asaba here. Of course, you also know that Miriam Babangida is from the family of Okogu, an Igbo family. So, just like as I was saying, Nteje is an Igbo community in Anambra State. Kainebisi, that is, let us look up to the leader. Kainebisi, shortened as Nnebisi, came from Nteje to present-day Asaba, although he met a group in Asaba where he founded the community. Today, you see half or more than half of the community laying claim to their Igbo origin. While people will say Nteje is related to Egala, therefore they are Egala people, they don't want to be Igbo. Though this is just a few people, because majority of Asaba people are Igbo people, they have affirmed it. In fact, when Colonel Joe Atrozia blew up the Niger Bridge and said, "You cannot go to kill my brothers," during the Civil War, the indigenes of Asaba paid dearly for it. It is still remarkable that if you go to Obosowe today, you will see the epitaph bearing the names of our Igbo brothers who were massacred during the Biafran genocide. They didn't stop in Asaba, because it is only Asaba genocide and Asaba massacre that is popular. They went to Ishagu and beheaded the king of Ishagu alongside so many other over 500 youths. Ishagu is in present-day Anyocha South local government area of Delta State, very close to my hometown. Now, all these things were to instill fear and make people deny their Igbo identity. If after killing a king of a community, you catch somebody and say, "Are you Igbo?" the person will immediately say they are not Igbo and teach their children to deny their Igbo origin. That was how Igbo denial began in this area. I'm delving away from our Jewish Igbo relationship, but it's very necessary because I'm just trying to answer a question posed to me by one of our brothers here. Akalaka and Ezechima was native doctor from Igbo land that worked for the first ever Oba of Benin. That is Obaeweka the first. Obaeweka was the first Oba of Benin. You are right. Benin sources have confirmed that Ezechima was an Igbo man. It is only one historian called Ake from Iseluku who attempted to distort history by documenting that Ezechima is not Ezechima, that in fact it was Eze Ikimi. But that's wrong, because you cannot be the only one who has a name for your father. People also know your father and they have a name for him. People like those traditional medicine practitioners, those Dibias of olden days were very popular. Ezechima was in fact second only to Ezemu. You may not have heard the name Ezemu, but he's more popular westwards. He's the third most sophisticated occult grandmaster of the universe that ever lived. Ezemu Ezemu of Ubuluku is the third most sophisticated occult grandmaster of the universe. He's the founder of Ubuluku. He's the only person you can mention. After mention, you can now talk of Ezechima. He was so sophisticated that till today, a court in the Oba of Benin's palace is dedicated to him, named after him. And as a son of Ezemu, I am a son of Ezemu actually. So I'm not just trying to overpraise my father. As a son of Ezemu, I cannot be tried before the Oba of Benin if I introduce myself. By the time I introduce that I am a son of Ezemu of Ubuluku, I should be granted clemency, except my crime is very heinous. Okay, so I'm looking at the comment of Promise Akachuku. My brother, you are well. I speak Egi very well, and you will never believe I am not from around. Thank you so much, Promise Akachuku. People like us, because I work with Total E&P as a pipe welder there. So when they come to the gates to try to intimidate us as strangers, the one will shout in their language, "Ta, bilede in the Lerashim." Or the sound the Lera, that is like, you people are mad. By the time I'll be shouting in a G language or Oba language, everybody will disappear. They will take off. They will say, this is our bros. This is our bros. I am not their bros. I just learned the language because it is a version of Igbo language that I could relate with. Beautiful. You just updated me of the history of Igbos in Benin Kingdom. Yes, there is a strong history of Igbos in Benin Kingdom. If I had said a Banke, they would say, after all, that one is obvious. The Banke is obvious. The same way you have the name Banke under the former Eka, and then when they did state creation, they are now under Benin. Because of proximity to Benin, you now have some names beginning to change. Those ones were around 1930 something. You have names like Onije in my community. In a bank, it's called Oligye. Our N became L. Oligye. In my place, Onije. If you ask those ones in my place who are there, they will say they are from Benin. That they are not Igbos. They are from Oligye in a bank. So, Igbo bofu. Igbo bofu. Ọbụna nsụme asụsụ ụbụlụ onye Ubulukwu kembụ mbido sụma ọnụ ụbụlụ iwelue ntị anị ị ga-anụ ihe niile na-ekwu. Ejem akwụkwọ na Federal University of Technology Owerri babie na bụ akpọ ezi obodo na Owerri West. Ezi obodo nọchime obodo ndị na ga-akpọ afa ezi obodo nọchime ụmụ Chima. Ezi obodo ahụ ụmụ Chima ụmụ Eze Chima o. Ezi obodo nọchime ụmụ Chima. Ezi obodo nọchime iyi agwa. Ezi obodo nọchime Naze. These three communities are neighbors to Eziobodo where I lived. If I switch to Were dialect again, you will not know that I am not from Were. Ijo Mashiolo. Ijo Mihola Mashiolo. When I leave my game house, because I had an indoor sports hall to indigenes to play, I like to mingle with every community where I live in. That is how I learn their culture. If I leave my game house for them and go to school, when I come back, I was a student then, and come back and ask them, Olekwana ihe unu mega? Ha asị m na ha kwụga game okporo ka ihe ha kwụga. Ha kwụga game okporo. Ikwụgazi game okporo on whose account? So if you are from Owerri, you will understand what I just said. Game okporo is like play game, not a serious one. So they are not supposed to pay me money for it. So whose balls are you using to play game? So I usually enjoy this difference in dialects. Unfortunately, people are now using this difference in dialects to say that they are not one with us. We are one. Igbo bofu. Igbo bofu, no matter where you find them living. Igbo bofu, no matter where you find them. Igbo niile bofu. Please, in case you enjoyed watching this live broadcast, I want to please thank you and beg you to please give us a thumbs up. Also, Bolo, my neighbors, has confirmed that they came from Anioma State since the 16th century. Yes, it was in 1750 precisely that they left. Oza was a great man. Even the quarter he came from is also known. We don't usually discuss why Oza left because it's really something not so dignified. But the remarkable thing the people of Ozobolo have done is to keep their relationship with their Igbo brothers back here. How can somebody now look at me? I have brothers in Oboli Siuzo. I have brothers in Oboli Hejofo. I have brothers in Ubuloru. That's Oboli Hejofo. I have brothers in Okoboro. I have brothers in Obulo House. I have brothers in Ubuli Ikem. And then you tell me that we are not Igbos. We are Igbos. All Igbos are one. Igbo niile bụ ofu. Ka anyị chịkọme n'ọnụ shuo nwa mmiri na ofu etiti ka ọ gbaa na-ayị ụfọfọ ụmụ Igbo. Let's stop the division. I'm seeing something going on lately and I feel it's right for me to use this privilege of having this number of active people watching this video to put this knowledge out there. Let us stop using our mouth. Ka anyị ghara iji ọnụ anyị na-ekwutọ onwe anyị. Ka anyị ghara iji ọnụ anyị na-emebi onwe anyị. Ka anyị ghara ekwutọzina anyị Igbo. O nwere ebe ọ make o. O nwechara ebe ọ make. Those places you are looking at also have their own challenges, just like we have our own challenges. While working towards solving our internal problems, internally, we must not use our mouths to condemn ourselves before the world. Mmadụ na-achị onye oshi, ndị ntọrị mmadụ, ndị na-egbu mmadụ, ọ bụ na mmadụ achị ya ọ dị iche, mana nke na-eyi ujizi ọnụ ị na-akpọ onwe ya ọjọgbu onwe ya bụ asụwene o ji uche taa akara ọtakwudo nnu. Let us use wisdom. Let us use wisdom. Maka na wegbume imi anya akwame. Wegbume imi anya akwame. Ịkpa kwa ga na-egbu nwene ka ọ bụ na dị ọsụwe na-atụ anya nwene ọ bụ na mmekwa agwa na nnadị nkwa agwa. Ọ bụ na mmekwa agwa nne m kwa agwa. Ọ bụ na mmekwa agwa nwene m kwa agwa. Ihe ọgwa nwene ikwe ọgwa. Ihe ọgwa na dị yukwa agwa Ihe ọgwa na-eyikwa agwa. Wasị na ndị Igbo bụ ndị oshi, onye oshi ga-ebu. Asụwa ndị Igbo bụ ndị egbu mmadụ ka ịbụ. Asụwa ndị Igbo bụ gbuo ebere isi ka ịbụ. Bifo iji ga-akọwa me n'onye Awụsa n'ugwu ya bụ n'onye Igbo isi ya elugo anị. This is just the message I have for us. So please unite. Let's have a unity of purpose to promote and project our culture in a very positive way. We are better and more civilized than these people who have joined hands together and they are ruling us politically. Even if they have not been able to succeed to take over economically, they are making policies that affect our businesses all over the world as Igbo people. You may have the resources, the ingenuity, but one single government policy will weaken and cripple all your efforts. This is why we must unite so that we can also take over politically. This platform does not discuss politics because it divides, but I want to use this medium to give us that advice. That said, today we looked at the relationship between Ndi Igbo and Ndi Igbos. Some people laugh at them by calling them Ndi Igbos or Ndi Hebrews or Ndi Jews. But I've been able to mention areas where we and Ndi Igbos have relationship. And I hope you can now make a judgment for yourself. Thank you for watching this live broadcast. Please, Bikoni, please share it to your audience. Share it to as many groups as you know will like to see or watch this video. I bet you nobody, no time have I ever brought out time like this to discuss Igbo history and culture. Of course, I'm going to download this video later and make so many videos out of it so that the knowledge can go far. But please share it so that it will reach people. And if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do us a favor by subscribing to the channel. Do have a very pleasant day. Ngozi Ezemudalo so much. Thank you so much. It means you know me up to the house for you to have called me this way. Thank you so much. Please share this video and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much.